Okay, here's my 11-month-old Brittany. His name is Boom. And here's us on a walk, kind of walking us through those behaviors that I want to work on. So here, before I started recording, I asked him for a behavior with me. It's also our heel cue. So I asked him with me, and he did not respond or look at me at all.
Hey,
so I'm just frozen. I'm frozen in place. He can't move forward. I'm not going anywhere. I am waiting for him to check in with me, to be engaged with me at all. And he is not. I'm kind of talking to him a little bit, asking if he's ready, things like that. He's obviously showing me that he's not interested.
All right.
So I'm going to ask and see if he can do a sit.
Sit. Yes.
There we go.
Good
It's a pretty
job.
easy behavior for him, so I asked him to do it. I could also ask him to do a touch. Anything to see if he's ready to work.
And yes.
Here I go. I set him up in the heel position.
Yes.
And give him lots of cookies. We're getting treated for that. And here I lost him. So that tells me I need to treat faster next time. But since I lost him, I'm going to stand in one spot. He cannot go forward. I'm not going forward. I'm waiting here for him. And once he comes into me, I'm going to set him back up in that position that I'm requiring him to be in. Because I have not released him from my with me. I want him still in that.
Boom.
So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for him to be able to check in. Obviously, Annie doesn't have this distraction problem. She's an angel. He sucks. But still the same concept. Okay, so here we're back in it. I give him one treat. He's not going to take it. I release him. I'm not going to get the behavior anymore right now, so I went ahead and released him.
Fix this.
Okay, so here we're going to show you kind of how I work on leash walking when I'm not requiring a heel. Okay, so here he's pulling. So I freeze. I stop. He almost comes back into me, but he gets distracted again and continues to pull. I'm not asking anything of him because I know he's not going to be able to do it. I'm just waiting for him to choose the right choice. And it sometimes takes a long time and sometimes it doesn't. So here he comes back into me. We don't say anything. We don't do anything. We just keep walking. His reward is movement forward. If you would like to move forward and sniff and enjoy your walk, you need to not pull me. Here he goes. He's going to pull again.
Let's go.
Almost. I wait for like a very specific type of pull. But here we go. Pull again. I freeze. Walks back into me. And we move off. That shake off is a stress reliever. This is hard work for him. And him shaking off lets me know, he's trying to get rid of some of that energy. And he's trying to re-engage. So it doesn't look like it, but he's doing his best. So here we go again. We're walking. Pulling. Freeze. Comes back into me. And we keep going. And that's how we're going to keep doing it. While I'm not requiring the heel. You can do all of this with a lot shorter leash. I know you like Annie to be a lot closer to you, which is completely okay. Just the same thing, but with a shorter leash. So here we go. We turn around, and he's decided to walk much nicer. I didn't ask him with me, though, so I'm not treating him. He's allowed to walk there. That's great. We're going to keep walking forward. But I'm not using treats right now because I didn't ask for a specific behavior. Okay, so I go ahead and ask for it right here.
Yes.
I get him set up in the position, and trying to do it with my camera is hard. But he's set up, he's waiting for me, which is amazing. And we're going to get treated in this position. If he's in the position, he's getting food. If he gets out, he's not. We're frozen until he gets back in the position. Unless I release him.
Yes. All done.
There we go. I released him. He decides to stay. Totally fine. I'm just not treating anymore for this.
Let's go.
So here we do a turnaround and set up again for the position. He heard the cue. He looked at me.
Yes.
And he's getting marked and treated. He's doing the same behavior as he was before.
Yes, good.
Now this time I'm going to throw in a little bit of stops. He knows with me pretty well. He does it well in stores and inside. Since he knows it so well.
All done.
He has an automatic stop or sit when I stop. So we practice that a little bit. That's not required, especially for Annie right now. But it's something to throw in a little bit later. So here I'm trying to get him to sniff and get distracted because I really want to show some more pulling work, but he's not. He just wants to be perfect. So here we are. But that's kind of my idea. I like to, when I'm asking for behavior and we're in working mode, I like to make sure I'm giving treats quick enough to keep him engaged. When I'm not in working mode, not giving treats, I expect kind behaviors that are desirable, but it's going to be a different setup. Okay, so here's us working on some plays. Boom already knows his behavior, so I'm going to try to break it up into steps, even though he's already understands it. So you will not move this quickly through these behaviors. I'm just going to set it up so you know what to do next. So this is what we did today. We have the bed right by our feet. We toss it out right in front. Gets it. When he walks into me, he'll naturally be on the bed.
Yes.
That's when I mark and treat. Yes, treat.
All done. Find it.
Okay. Then if he gets really, after a few repetitions of that, we can toss it out to the side. Same thing. I'm standing in front of the bed so that that's where he naturally will go. Want to set him up for success here. Here he's trying to find the treats because I threw too many, and he's trying to find every last piece.
You got it all, bud. Hey, you got it all. You got it all.
Here we go. All right, so he did it again. Yes, treat. And that's how I'm going to be making it more difficult. I'm going to be tossing it out behind me, side by the side. I'm going to turn my body. If there's ever a moment that she doesn't get on the bed, give her about 10 seconds to figure it out. After that, I just go back a step. I'll go back to throwing it over the mat instead of to the side. So at any point she's not understanding, just go back one step.
Yes.
Okay, so here we're going to add the verbal cue. And we're going to add it just like we add all of our verbal cues. We're pairing a behavior they already know with a word.
Find it.
So we want to make sure we're saying that word when they're already doing it, right?
Place.
There. He was already going to the place, and that's when I add it. I don't want to ask him when his back is turned, or if he's eating treats, or if he's trying to figure it out. I just want to make sure I say it when he's already going to do it.
Place.
That's why we don't add the verbal cue until we're pretty sure, 99% sure that he's going to go to the place that we want him to go.
All done. Find it. Place. Yes.
Okay, so here we're working on duration. So you notice I asked him to go to this place before he's interested. That's going to be the next step once they understand what the verbal means. So here I'm doing tiny little rocks. I'm just doing some odd, awkward movements. A little bit here, a little bit more. I'll turn my body the other way. Things like that. That's going to be your very first steps of duration. And again, we're not going to progress as fast as I am. This moment where we're just doing little rocks, that's going to be a few days or weeks depending on the dog.
Place.
So that's a separate thing.
Yes.
Here's the next step. So now we're doing some duration still, but I'm going a lot further. I'm still in sight. I'm doing different movements. I'm just pushing it. I don't want to immediately turn around and go 12 steps away. I want to get them used to my movement doesn't mean your movement. That's all I'm setting up in this scenario. And that includes like crouching down, touching the ground, sitting on the floor. Those things don't mean that. You move. Okay, so here's another one that looks really easy, but it's super challenging for dogs that are learning this. Us sitting down is usually really exciting for dogs because we usually touch them when we're sitting. So us sitting in a chair and tossing treats out to the bed is going to be a next step much further down. I'm sorry, that's my puppy board and training. Hey, Rocco, come here. So all I'm doing at this moment is I'm not even getting up to treat him. I'm just tossing. My body's sitting down. I'm going to get up. I'm going to sit down on the ground. That's going to be yet another step. This one's really, really difficult because us on the ground is super appealing. So here we go. And he had a hard time with all of these things. We've just been doing it his whole life. And so again, much further down the road. If any of these steps ever get too hard and she pops up, we want to take a step back and do the next easiest thing. We don't want her to keep practicing popping up every time we sit down. So if I sit on the ground and she pops up, and I do it again and she pops up, I'm going to go back to sitting in a chair. If she pops up every time I sit in a chair, I'm going to go back again. So here's one that is brand new to us. We've been doing it for like a week, and you can see he pops up. I just cover the treats. I ask him to go back on his place again. He does not, so I try to wait him out. I'm not asking a bunch of him. I'm not asking him repetitively to go to place. I'm just waiting. The waiting doesn't work, so I take a step back. I pick up the treats off the ground. I elevate my body a little bit onto my knees, and I come ask him for a place. He's able to do it. And this time, when I put the treats down on the ground, I'm going to reward him much quicker because the thing I did was too hard. So here's a little bit of treats, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark and treat right away. I put a little bit more, I mark and treat again. So the concept is we're just going to always be pushing ourselves to make it more difficult, but if it ever finds to be too difficult, we're going to take something back. We're going to make it one step easier. And that's with any behavior that we're going to do with our dogs.
All done.
Find it.